Hey all, Joe Riley here with the fourth installment to my Shred Shop series. Today we're toning things down a bit, talking about chord building. I'm going to introduce you to the 6 types of chords you're going to use, and also the major scale and how to manipulate that scale to build those chords. So as an example, we're going to use the A major scale in the open position. Let me walk you through that real quick. It looks like this. It starts with the A note, open A string. Go to the 2nd fret on the A, which is a B note. 4th fret on the A, which is a C sharp. Drop down to the open D string. Go to the 2nd fret on the D, which is an E note. Then the 4th fret on the D, which is an F sharp. Then drop down to the 1st fret on the G string, which is a G sharp. And then the 2nd fret on the G, which is an A. Okay. Now, we're going to utilize the 2nd octave of that as well. So that starts at the A note, 2nd fret, G string. Drop down to the open B string. Go to the 2nd fret, which is a C sharp. Go to the 3rd fret, which is a D note. Drop down to the open E. 2nd fret on the E, which is F sharp. 4th fret on the E, which is G sharp. And then we wrap that up with the 5th fret, which is an A note on the high E. Okay, first chord we're going to talk about today is the major chord. To build any major chord, you use the 1, the 3, and the 5 of the major scale. You group those together and that becomes the major chord. So as an example here, we're using the open A chord. Looks like this. Okay, to walk you through how that's built, that is actually the open A string. We're holding down the 2nd fret on the D, which is an E note. We have the 2nd fret on the G, which is an A note. The 2nd fret on the B string, which is the C sharp. And then the high E is open. Okay, so there's your root, 3rd, and 5th. I'm going to walk you through this one more time. The root is A. We count the scale to the 3rd. 1, 2, 3. That's our C sharp. And then 4, 5, our E is the 5th note. So A, C sharp, and E, that's your 1, 3, 5 of the A major scale. We are holding down the A, C sharp, and E to build that chord shape. So now some people ask me, like, how do I know what order to put those in? You typically want to put the root note, the A in this example, first, but not always, but 9 times out of 10 you want to try to shoot for that. But the 5th and the 3rd, they can be flip-flopped however the chord is being built. So in this situation, we're putting the 5 after the root. That kind of satisfies the power chord, the 5 chord type stance there. So anyway, but anywhere on the neck, you want to grab the root, the 3rd, and the 5th. In any key, that becomes the major chord. So moving on. Next, we have minor chords. Basically, a minor chord is just the root. You flat the 3rd, and then you have the 5. What flat means is you're going to push that note back or down in pitch 1 fret. Okay, so here we're going to manipulate this open A chord. And we're going to flat the 3rd. Now our 3rd happens to fall as the C sharp, which we use the 2nd fret on the B string. We flat that, we just push it back 1 fret to the 1st fret to C. So now we have A, C, E is our triad. Now let's talk about triads. The definition of a triad is 3 notes. It's 3 notes pulled from a major scale, manipulated to build the chord shape. So that's your definition. And this all stems from a thing called the Triad Formula, essentially is what I'm teaching you today. So, going back to that, we have the A minor chord. Okay, another way to look at that too is major chords sound happy, minor chords sound sad. So, anywhere you group the root, the flat 3rd, and the 5 of any major scale, anywhere on the neck, that becomes that major scale's minor chord shape. Moving on. The next chord we're talking about is augmented chords. Not a whole lot of people like augmented chords just because they're kind of weird to throw into a position, or a pattern, if you will. But here, just to walk you through that, the augmented chord is the root, the 3rd, and we sharp the 5. So walking through the A scale again, our E is 5. We want to sharp that or push it up 1 fret to F. So manipulating this open A chord shape, we're basically going to put the sharp 5 in there. Go ahead and put the octave of the A in there. Drop the 3rd in there. And then because you sharp 1 E, you want to sharp both E's in this situation. So you sharp the bottom string up to the F note at the 1st fret. And there's your A augmented chord. Now, one little thing I want to throw out at you too is augmented and diminished chords sound best if they're arpeggiated or picked in note sequence as opposed to strummed. Not that you can't strum them, but they sound better if they're picked out. So there you have it. So augmented is root, 3rd, and you sharp the 5. Okay, moving on. The next is diminished. With diminished chords, they utilize root, you flat the 3rd, and you flat the 5. So we're going to walk you through that. In the A major scale, you have A, B, C sharp. We want to flat a C sharp to C. And our E, we want to flatten E. It becomes E flat or D sharp. Okay, so we're going to manipulate this open A chord shape once again. We flat our 5 to the E flat. Leave in our octave of our A. And then our C sharp becomes C, so we flat it back to the first fret on the B string. Now, the high E, you can't flat the high E, obviously, and unless your pinky is, a foot long, you can't reach a good note there to add in. So we're basically just going to leave out the high E note there. Okay? So that's your diminished chord. So anywhere on the neck, you grab the root, the flat third, and the flat 5. That becomes your diminished pattern. Moving on. Now, there's 2 types of suspended chords we're going to talk about today. The first is suspended 4. What a suspended 4 is it's the root, you sharp the third, and then you have the 5. So if we look at our A major scale, we have A, B, C sharp. If we sharp the C sharp, we push it up a fret to a D note. D is already in the scale. It's the 4th note in the scale, hence the suspended 4. You're basically suspending the third into the 4th position. So here, manipulating this open A chord shape, we're going to take the C sharp note, 2nd fret on the B string, and sharp that 1 fret up to the D note. There's your suspended 4 chord. Okay, now the second type of suspended chord we're going to talk about is the suspended 2. Suspended 2 is 1, 2, and 5. In other words, you're going to take the 2nd note in the scale and place it in place of the 3rd. So here we look at the A major chord again. The 2nd note in the A major scale is a B note. Well, since we have the 3rd is our C sharp, 2nd fret on the B string, we're going to let that go and play the open B string in its place. So the suspended 2 looks like this. Okay, so that satisfies our suspended 2 chord. So anywhere on the neck, you grab the 1, the 2, and the 5 of any major chord, and you put those together. That is a suspended 2 chord. Hopefully that answers a lot of questions you guys have about building chord shapes and the types you have. So to run through this again, you have major is 1, 3, 5 of the major scale. Minor is 1, flat 3, and 5 of the major scale. If you get to augmented, it's 1, 3, and you sharp the 5. Diminished is 1, flat 3, and flat 5. Suspended 4, or suspended, some people call it a sus chord. That is 1, sharp the 3rd and the 5. And a sus 2 chord, or suspended 2 chord, is 1, 2, and 5. So that's your basic types of chord shapes there. From those, we're going to get into some extended chords, as they call them, like 7s, major 7s, 9s, and such and such in next lesson. Today, just want to get you these to start with. So, another reason this is important is if you're doing your shred stuff, which we talked about in the last few lessons, you need to know what's going on with your rhythm behind you, and you need to be able to manipulate those notes and know exactly what is going on so you don't get lost and play the bad notes, obviously. So make notes of this. This will also be tabbed out on my Joe Riley Guitars Facebook page. There's a folder on there for the shred shop. Go on there and pull those off, and you can print those off if you need to. So they're good reference points. All right, moving on. The last thing we'll talk about today is I have some questions come in, and this is the most important question I saw come in the last few days. Basically, it said, when will we see some new stuff from Joe Riley? If you guys haven't seen it yet, my new music video is out, Invading Yeti, the Bigfoot Jam. I released that about a month and a half ago. It's out on YouTube right now. Get over there and check it out. It's hilarious. We had a blast making it. It's just the kickoff to my new solo career that I'm doing here with guitar. 2 is I've also signed a deal with Broad Horizon Records. They're going to help me to distribute my my solo songs and material, and also help me set up for a tour and things for this next year. So that will start out nationwide, and it will also go to a worldwide distribution and marketing plan. So that'll be out soon enough. My new solo CD should be ready to go, hopefully by the end of spring, early summer. That'll be available on iTunes and be on Spotify and all that for you guys to check out. So there's some more things in the works for that, and I'll keep you guys clued up on that. So if you want any more information about that, go to my Facebook page, Joe Riley Guitarist, and I'll keep you updated there. You can also check me out online at joerileymusic.com. So, next thing I want to talk about, I just joined the Mighty Swine, so we're ready to rock. We've been writing like crazy. We've been in the studio recording things there. So that new stuff will be coming out soon enough too. We're going to release a couple songs, drop them on you with a music video hopefully pretty soon. I'm guessing next couple months that should be out and ready to go, and then a tour will follow that as well. So hopefully the new CD will be ready to go by summertime, and you guys get your swinage needs in there. So if you want to check anything about that, jump over to www.themightyswine.com. All the information is also there. It's also on Facebook as well. There's links on my page. You can jump over to that. So until next time, you guys keep rocking. Send me any questions you have to my email at joerileymusic@yahoo.com or to my Facebook page, once again, Joe Riley-Guitarist. Until then, keep rocking.